My name is Margaret. I'm 92 years old. I'm recording this because there are some things you need to say out loud before you run out of time, and I can feel that I'm close. I want to tell you about a choice I made. A small one, really, or at least that's what I told myself.
I was 23 when I met him. His name was Thomas. We worked at the same library downtown. He shelved books in the history section. I worked the front desk. He had dark hair that fell across his forehead when he leaned over the cart, and he wore the same brown cardigan every Tuesday. He was quiet, thoughtful, the kind of person who noticed when you changed your hair or seemed tired. We'd talk during breaks. Nothing deep at first, just small things. Books we liked, the weather, how the coffee in the break room tasted like burnt water. But then the conversations started lasting longer. He'd find reasons to stop by my desk. I'd find reasons to walk past the history section. One afternoon, he asked if I'd like to get dinner sometime. I said yes. We went to a little Italian place 2 blocks from the library. We talked for 3 hours. I don't even remember what we ate. I just remember how easy it felt, how he listened, how I didn't have to try to be anything other than myself. When he walked me home, he stopped at my door and said, "I'd like to do this again." I smiled. Me too. But I didn't mean it. Not really. Because that same week I'd been invited to a party by someone else, a man named Richard. He was louder than Thomas, more confident. He had money, a nice car. He knew people, important people. My mother liked him. "He's going places, Margaret," she'd say. "You could have a good life with someone like that." Thomas never came up in those conversations. I never mentioned him. So when Richard asked me to dinner the following weekend, I said yes. And when Thomas called to ask about our second date, I told him I was busy. I said I'd let him know when I was free. But I never did. I married Richard 6 months later. He was charming, successful. We had a nice house, nice things, nice dinners with nice people who said nice things about us. But I was lonely. Richard worked long hours. When he was home, he talked about business, about deals, about people I didn't know and didn't care about. He didn't ask how I was. He didn't notice when I was tired or quiet or sad. I told myself it was fine, that this was what marriage looked like, that I was lucky. I saw Thomas one more time after that. It was 5 years later. I was at the library, picking up a book for Richard's mother, and there he was, same brown cardigan, same quiet way of moving through the stacks. He saw me before I could leave. "Margaret," he said. He looked surprised, maybe a little hurt. "Thomas, hi." We stood there for a moment. I didn't know what to say. "You're married," he said, looking at my ring. "Yes, 5 years now." He nodded slowly. "I hope you're happy." I wanted to tell him the truth, that I wasn't, that I thought about him more than I should, that I'd made a mistake. But I didn't. "I am," I said. "Thank you." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Take care, Margaret." And then he walked away. I never saw him again. Richard died 12 years ago. Heart attack, quick, clean. People said I was lucky, that he didn't suffer, and I suppose that's true. But what they didn't say was that I'd been suffering for 57 years. Not because Richard was cruel. He wasn't. He just wasn't there. Not really. He was beside me, but never with me. And I'd chosen that. I'd chosen safety over softness, status over connection, what looked good over what felt right. I think about Thomas sometimes, a lot, actually. I wonder what my life would have been like if I'd been braver, if I'd chosen the person who saw me instead of the person everyone else wanted me to choose. I wonder if he ever thought about me, if he got married, if he was happy. I'll never know. I'm 92 years old now. My children visit on weekends. My grandchildren call. They're kind. They love me, I think. But they don't really know me, because I spent my whole life being the person I thought I was supposed to be, and somewhere along the way I forgot who I actually was. I look back now, and I see all the small moments where I could have chosen differently, where I could have been honest, where I could have been brave. But I wasn't. And now I'm here, alone in a house that was never really mine, with a life I never really wanted. I don't know if this matters to you. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're young and you think you have time. Maybe you think you'll figure it out later. But I'm telling you this because later comes faster than you think. And one day you'll be 92, sitting alone, remembering the person you didn't choose, wondering what your life could have been. If you've been putting something off, someone off, because you're scared, or because it doesn't make sense, or because someone else has a different plan for you, I don't know. Maybe you already know what I'm trying to say, or maybe you'll figure it out when it's too late, like I did. I'm 92 years old, and I need you to know that the small choices matter. They matter more than anything.